Version 1.3 might be our biggest update yet, with fantastic new characters, gargantuan new echoes, and exciting new events. There's a lot to look forward to. However, there's one part of the update that hasn't generated that much hype, and that's the new series of weapons, Deep Sky Blazar. Even with Kuro releasing news on their stats and effects, there's a reason for that. This series is comprised of 4-star weapons, and 4-star weapons in Wuthering Waves have a very bad rep. In a lot of ways, it's completely earned. With lowered overall base stats, unattractive main stats, and hilariously ineffective weapon effects, a majority of 4-star weapons are never used by players, especially if they have a 5-star weapon of the same class. When players have unparalleled levels of access to 5-star weapons, especially compared to other gacha games with mechanics like a free weapon box, a separate standard weapon banner, and a guaranteed limited banner, that availability is so high that even Battle Pass weapons, complete with their own unique crit stats, oftentimes don't see use. With all of these weaknesses in mind, the bar has been set quite low when it comes to the expectations for this new series. Leveraging the advanced, futuristic technologies of the Black Shores, which we've heard is quite powerful, these weapons are looking to bring some extra spice to our upcoming weapon banners and some new variety to our gameplay. The question is, however, will these weapons do the job? Are they just a shiny consolation prize as you pull on weapon banners, or are they powerful pieces of equipment actually worth investing in? Are they trash, or are they treasure? Today we'll be breaking down how good these new weapons are, diving into the unique advantages from their weapon effect, their pros and cons compared to other 4-star weapons, and whether or not they're actually worth building and using, even if you already have 5-star weapons. While we're receiving a copy of one of these weapons for free, the resources we spend leveling them won't be. As always, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. One of the biggest disadvantages of any 4-star weapon is their lower overall base attack relative to the 5-stars. When every single percentage stat boost in the game, like the buffs from your healer or the boosts from your echoes, works off your characters and weapons' base stats, a low base attack weapon can have a dramatic impact on your overall damage potential. The Deep Sky Blazar series has taken this criticism to heart, and they're releasing with the highest base attack we've seen across all 4-star weapons. With a base attack of 462 at max level, these weapons have a comparable base attack to some limited 5-star weapons, at only 38 lower than options like Stringmaster. But they're still around 120 attack lower than the other 5-star options. However, this is still a huge pro for this series. Unfortunately, these base stats came at a cost. It's offset by the lowest attack percentage boost in the game as its secondary main stat. What this ultimately means is that these weapons are a fantastic choice and far better than the existing 4-star options if the wielder will be receiving a lot of percentage attack boosts, specifically from healer buffs, Moonlit Clouds, or the Lingering Tunes Sonata set. When practically every single team in the game leverages these buffs, these weapons will likely be the best in slot 4-star option for every player, aside from select Battle Pass weapons. However, the base stats alone don't tell the entire story. These weapons also have some of the best overall weapon effects in the game. Upon casting a resonance skill, the wielder gains 6 to 10 resonance energy and a 10 to 20% attack buff for a whole 16 seconds. As we've mentioned before, percentage attack buffs are far more effective with higher base attack. And with this series having the highest in the game, this is genuinely one of the best buffs you can find. The extra resonance energy to smooth out your wielder's energy regeneration requirements is also just the cherry on top. Another fantastic element of this weapon series is that its effect has an incredibly simple activation condition. All you do is cast a skill, and every single character has one, and you get its full effect with no strings attached, with great uptime. When comparing these weapons to other 4-star DPS options like Helios Cleaver or Lunar Cutter, which have incredibly awkward ramping buffs and low uptime on their full effect, it's clear which option is superior, when the fully stacked up effect of these lesser 4-star weapons is just 12% attack, and only for a very short period of time like 6 seconds. It's clear that the Deep Sky Blazar weapons are strictly better in almost every single way, with no ramping, full uptime, and the nice little treat of bonus resonance energy on top of it all. Factor in the higher base attack of the Blazar weapons, it's a complete wrap. It's clear that Kuro has been listening to the player base's concerns over the viability of 4-star weapons, and this new series is a complete improvement over the existing DPS options in pretty much every single way. However, the bar set by the older 4-star weapons was extremely low. It didn't take very much to outclass them completely. When weapons are shareable in endgame content, and it's much easier to acquire 5-star weapons in Wuthering Waves, oftentimes these 4-star weapons are in direct competition with 5 stars when it comes to seeing actual use. For the Deep Sky Blazar series, the answer is simple. Even with all of their massive improvements to base stats and weapon effects, these weapons will simply be worse than virtually every 5-star option available. The standard 5-star weapons, for example, will completely outclass the new series based off their base attack, their crit or attack percentage main stat, and the built-in energy regeneration stat on their weapon effects. We can ignore every other line in their weapon effect. The standard weapons are simply better. If we start making comparisons to limited releases, this gap only grows. With far more critical stats available on those weapons, characters using these options could have a lower overall attack than a character using the Blazar series, but their damage with crit stats factored in will typically always be higher. If you already have a 5-star weapon for a class, the Deep Sky Blazar series might not be the best overall investment for your resources. However, at this point in the game, not every player is going to have an option for every weapon class, and depending on the team comps you run, you can easily run into a gearing nightmare, like a team with 2 sword users. In these situations, the Deep Sky Blazar series is a great option to invest in, and with the decent scaling on these weapons via dupes, they'll only get better over time. Thankfully, we'll be able to get a free head start on this through a free copy of any weapon in the series from version 1.3's Black Shore's Exploration event. My overall recommendation is to choose the sword. This is because swords have the most wielders in the game, and many popular team compositions, like Rover and Dan Jin or Rover and Chang Li, are held back by the fact that most players only have one copy of Emerald of Genesis to share around. However, the best overall weapon for you truly depends on your account and who you enjoy playing, and any of these weapons will still be an immediate upgrade over any 4-star option that any of your DPS characters are using, aside from some select Battle Pass options. Overall, Kuro listened. These weapons are good. They're not better than 5 stars, but they're far better than any of our existing 4-star alternatives. While they are, at the end of the day, more of a consolation prize on the weapon banner, they still have some viable use cases across the roster. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.